Damn phones, Babylons can't crack the code.
What do YouTube? B. Kelly, back again with another banger video. And today's video, y'all, I am going to be talking about my way too early Heisman rankings for the 2022 college football season. This is a video I've been wanting to make for a while, but I haven't had the time to really make it, but now I do. In today's video, I'll be talking about my top 10 and some honorable mentions. Before I move on, remember to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, as we are on the road to 10K. Now let's get into it. First, I am going to be talking about my honorable mentions. Now with my honorable mentions, these are guys that aren't in my way too early top 10, but I would not be surprised if they're in contention for the Heisman at some point in the 22 season. Those guys being Braylon Allen, Malik Cunningham, Quinn Ewers, Devin Leary, Jackson Dart, DJ Uiagalelei, and JT Daniels, wherever he plays at. To start off the top 10, I have Miami starting quarterback Tyler Van Dyke. Now, Van Dyke saw his first real action at the collegiate level in this past 2021 season. He came in as a backup quarterback, but he eventually became the starting quarterback once Derek King went down with injury, and he did not disappoint. In 10 games played, he completed 62% of his passes, threw for 2,931 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. Van Dyke is honestly probably one of the more underrated players out there right now. He had a stellar 21 campaign, and it was one where he kind of went under the radar. He wasn't really being talked about as much as he probably should have been. I mean, the guy came in as a backup quarterback, came into a situation that's not the easiest to be a starting quarterback in, and he played some very good football. And the future is looking bright for him as of right now, and I could definitely see him doing some really big things in 2022 with the Hurricanes. Coming in at number 9, I have Ohio State running back TreVeyon Henderson. Now, TreVeyon Henderson is coming off a strong freshman campaign in 2021 with the Buckeyes, where in 13 games played, he had 1,255 rushing yards, averaging almost 7 yards per carry, 15 total rushing touchdowns, and 4 touchdowns through the air, having 19 all-purpose touchdowns. Now, I personally thought TreVeyon Henderson was a top 5 running back in college football last season, just as a true freshman. Some may disagree and some may agree, but I think he's definitely going to contend for a Heisman spot, a Heisman contention this season, because this guy, he's only going to get better, and unless he has some unforeseen injury, I don't see him getting worse. I only see him getting better. I see him staying a top running back, and honestly, I think he's going to be the second best running back this season. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with number 8, but coming in at number 8, I have South Carolina quarterback Spencer Rattler. Now, he did not have the best 21 campaign, as he came into the season as a Heisman favorite, and he got benched midway through for true freshman quarterback Caleb Williams. In 9 games played with the Sooners in 2021, he completed 75% of his passes, threw for 1,483 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. I genuinely believe Spencer Rattler is going to have a bounce-back season at South Carolina and definitely prove some people wrong. I'm still someone that still believes in him to an extent. I don't think he's the perfect quarterback, but he's going to be someone that can really help South Carolina get over the hump they've been at recently, which is a 6 to 7 win team. I think South Carolina has a potential to be an 8-win team and maybe even 9-win team, but the SEC is still a really tough conference, and South Carolina has a lot of potential, but it's really going to depend all around on the team. Coming in at number 7, it's another one some may disagree with. I have Oklahoma quarterback Dillon Gabriel. Now, Dillon Gabriel is a Central Florida transfer, and he was spectacular as a Golden Knight, as he completed 61% of his passes, threw for over 8,000 yards, 70 touchdown passes, and only 14 interceptions in about 3 seasons played. This guy is a straight gamer, and at Oklahoma, he's going to be in an offensive system that he's used to. He's played with Coach Levy before, and he's been in that offense. And OU, although they did lose some people to the portal, they still got some real studs on that offense that can break out at any moment. So definitely keep an eye out on Dillon Gabriel at OU. Coming in at number 6, I have someone who I think is the best wide receiver in college football right now, and that's Ohio State wide receiver Jaxon Smith-Njigba. Now, Smith-Njigba, in 13 games played in 2021, led Ohio State in receiving yards with 1,606 receiving yards, averaging 17 yards per reception and 9 total touchdowns through the air. And honestly, you would be fooling yourself if you did not think Jaxon Smith-Njigba was going to have another big season. This guy is destined for another big season, especially with another year in that offense and another year with CJ Stroud, who is back yet again for his 3rd year at Ohio State. This guy is destined for greatness, and I wouldn't be surprised if he was contending for that Heisman Trophy in 2022. The guy is special. Coming in at number 5, I just left off the top receiver in my opinion. Now I'm going to the top running back in college football in my opinion, and that's Texas running back Bijan Robinson. Now, Robinson is coming off a strong 2021 campaign where he was one of the few bright spots on that Texas team that was massively disappointing, especially in the second half of the season. Now, Bijan did go down with injury in the last couple games. He played in 10 games, in which he had 1,127 total rushing yards, averaging roughly about 6 yards per carry, 11 total touchdowns on the ground, and 4 touchdowns through the air. Honestly, having Bijan at number 5 might be a little too low, as this guy has all the potential in the world to win the Heisman Trophy. If Texas has a good season, and I mean an actual good season, you know, they can go 9-3, that's one of their better seasons recently, but I mean, if they're in the Big 12 championship game, they're like 10-2, 11-1, don't be surprised if Bijan Robinson potentially wins the Heisman Trophy, because this guy's workload is only going to increase, and he's only going to be more involved in that offense. The offense is its best when Bijan is getting the ball. When your best player has the ball in his hands, you know things are going to be good. Coming in at number 4, we have one of the best defensive players in the nation, and someone who actually was almost a Heisman finalist last year in Will Anderson. Will Anderson is coming off a career season in 2021 in which he placed 5th in Heisman voting, just missing out being a Heisman finalist. In 15 games played, had 101 total tackles, 31 tackles for loss, and 17.5 sacks. Will Anderson, in my opinion, is that one defensive player in college football that will probably have the best shot at getting the Heisman Trophy or just being a Heisman finalist, period. It seems like we usually have a defensive player that's a Heisman finalist and competing for that Heisman Trophy, and I think Will Anderson's going to be that guy, especially if he has similar numbers to 2021. Coming in at number 3, I have USC starting quarterback Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams in 2021 was the backup quarterback in the beginning of the year for OU, but he came in and replaced Spencer Rattler and took the starting job away versus Texas. In his freshman campaign in 11 games played, he completed 64.5% of his passes, threw for 1,912 yards, 21 touchdown passes through the air, and only 4 interceptions. On the ground, he rushed for 442 yards, averaging 6 yards per carry, and 6 total touchdowns on the ground. Caleb Williams has one of the best offensive-minded head coaches in college football, who have coached 2 Heisman winners in Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray, and a Heisman finalist in Jalen Hurts. And honestly, if I'm being real, he's going to have some pretty good weapons on that offense, even though USC's offensive line is pretty suspect to say the least. I'm not very high on that offensive line at all, and as a team, I'm not buying all the playoff hype like some of the national media has, but they're still going to be a pretty good team. And Caleb Williams, well, you saw him versus Oregon, even though it was a limited number Oregon squad. The Pac-12 doesn't have defenses like the Big 12, like Caleb Williams was facing in 2021. And yeah, Caleb Williams is only going to get better and better as time goes on. Coming in at number 2, and the third Ohio State player in my top 10, I have quarterback CJ Stroud. Now, CJ Stroud is coming off a strong redshirt freshman campaign, his first year as the starting quarterback for the Buckeyes, in which in 12 games played, he completed 72% of his passes, threw for 4,435 yards, 44 touchdown passes through the air, and only 6 interceptions. I will admit he had some first-year starting mistakes, not many, and I do fully expect him to clean up those slight mistakes for 2022, and I'm expecting him to be a top 2 finisher in the Heisman race. I don't see how he's going to get worse. I see him getting better, and I see him thriving in year 3 as an Ohio State Buckeye, and shoot, he might even win it. Coming in at number 1 on my list, well, this should come as no surprise, but Bryce Young, quarterback from Alabama, the man himself, the guy who was literally coming off a Heisman winning season in which in 15 games played, completed 67% of his passes, threw for 4,872 yards, 47 touchdown passes through the air, and only 7 interceptions. I mean, let's be real. He is going to probably be a Heisman finalist again in 2022. Is Alabama losing some people on offense? Yes. But they're also gaining some people from the transfer portal that are really good and bring a lot of value. A good thing with Alabama, you always have to remember, Alabama doesn't rebuild, they reload. And that's especially true under the Nick Saban era. I would not expect Bryce Young to go anywhere. Well guys, if you made it this far in the video, drop something down in the comment section below. Who do you think will win the Heisman Trophy in 2022 and why? And before you head out, remember to smash that like button, turn on those post notifications, and subscribe for more videos. Be Kelly out.